Hey, what's up, everyone? Good morning. Hope you're doing fantastic. Hope everyone's doing fantastic. Make sure you introduce yourself in the comments. Let me know who you are, where you're tuning in from, all that fun stuff. And let me know if the audio and video is all good. I was having some mic issues a couple of weeks ago, so I just wanted to make sure that those issues are not still evident. So hopefully you folks can hear me, and the video is good as well. And thanks so much for tuning in. So shout out to everyone tuning in from my, my clients on the private Facebook group. Shout out to everyone over there. Shout out to everyone on LinkedIn, on my other Facebook page, on YouTube, on Twitter. Everyone tuning in. Hope you're doing fantastic. Hope you're keeping well and safe, and you're staying positive, and you're all good during this period of time. And for those of you who are actively job seeking, hey, hope you're doing what's needed to get yourself out there, get yourself in front of hiring teams, right? For those of you tuning in for the first time, if you're a new connection, you're someone who just recently started following me. Thanks so much for tuning in and joining in today. I hope to share with you some great information to help you in your job search. A little background about myself: my experience comes from working in the staffing industry for 8+ years, primarily recruiting for IT positions and all that stuff. But I try to talk about things that are applicable regardless of industry on my live streams, right? So again, welcome to everyone who is new to my connections and newly following me. Appreciate your support. And feel free to hit like and make sure you share with your network. I'm going to be talking about today the topic of some LinkedIn tips that are going to help you get the attention from recruiters, right? And I'm going to be sharing my perspective as someone who has worked in recruitment, right? So this is not some random advice that I'm going to be throwing out there. This is real world stuff, folks. All right. So be prepared to take notes. We got a shout out here from Vikramjeet. Hey, Vikram, good to see you here. Oh, you're in India now. Oh, wow. Okay. So on vacation, Vikram, or let me know, feel free to send me a direct message. I'm sure we could chat on there as well. But I hope you're doing well and safe, Vikram. It's been a while. I think we met up, I think it was last year or the year before. So I hope you're keeping well and safe. And good to have you here as well. And hope you're doing great. We got Peter in the house. Peter, all the way from Windsor. Good to have you here, Peter. Thanks so much for tuning in. Vikram says, hey, Dean, how are you? Hey, I'm doing great, Vikram. Good to have you here and good to see you here as well. Hope you're doing fantastic. Feel free to keep introducing yourself in the comments, folks. It's an opportunity for you to make yourself more visible, right? One of the things that I always talk about, one of the greatest challenges you're going to face as a job seeker is basically not being known, right? Not being visible. So kudos to everyone who's putting in their introductions in the comments, because guess what? You just made yourself visible, right? A lot of you are not visible enough in your job search, and that's one of the greatest challenges that you're going to be facing. So I hope that as you participating on my live stream, you posting comments, introducing yourself, hey, maybe you might capture the attention of someone that might be interested in having a conversation with you, right? Maybe about career opportunities, who knows? But hey, make sure you make yourself visible. Make sure you introduce yourself in the comments. And hey, network with each other, folks. There's a great opportunity for all of you folks to network with each other, right? So today's topic, right? I'm going to be talking about. So Vikram says he's on vacation. Okay, good to hear that, Vikram. Good to hear you're on vacation. All right, so today's tips, folks. All right, looks like we got a bit of a quiet audience today, so don't be shy, folks. Make sure you introduce yourself in the comments and say hi, and also feel free to put any questions you have about your LinkedIn profiles, right? That's today's topic: LinkedIn profiles. How to make it so that you get more attention from recruiters. So any questions, any feedback, what you're struggling with in this respect, feel free to put it in the comments. I'm going to get to the questions shortly after I finish presenting today's topic. Or if it's anything job search related, right? Feel free to put it in the comments. I'm happy to respond with my perspective on what you can do to address whatever job search related issues you're going through. All right. So feel free to put those in the comments. All right. So today's topic, folks. All right. Some tips I'm going to cover today in how you can make your LinkedIn profile look very appealing and basically help yourself get more attention from recruiters. All right. So I'm going to be sharing with you, and I wrote down what is this, like 5 tips. All right. So I'm going to be sharing 5 tips for you, and these are very much applicable, whatever your industry is, whatever your field, whatever your skill set. All right. We got Aldrich tuning in from Niagara Falls. Wow, beautiful Niagara Falls. Good to have you here, Aldrich. Thanks so much for tuning in, and I hope you get great value out of this session. All right, so folks, now some tips in regards to your LinkedIn profile. Now, before I get to that, why is this even important, right? Dean, is LinkedIn even a big deal? Should I even be wasting my time with LinkedIn? So first and foremost, folks, you should never depend on any one channel, right, in your job search. You should always be exploring multiple avenues, multiple channels on how you can get yourself in front of recruiters, not just recruiters, of course, but hiring teams, organizations that might be looking for someone with your skills and your experience, right? So first and foremost, let's get that straight, right? You should never depend on just one avenue, right? But LinkedIn is definitely one of those avenues you need to be well versed in, and you need to include as part of your job search strategy for sure. That's 100% for sure. And what LinkedIn's going to help you with is, at least strictly from a profile standpoint, it's that thing that's going to help you get those passive leads, right? Passive, where you can generate passive opportunities. When I say passive, that means without you putting in much effort and doing anything else aside from having a great profile. So from that standpoint, it's something you need to get right. It's something you need to have in place. But I also wanted to add, just because I said it's a good passive method, you should never depend solely, folks, on passively positioning yourself for opportunities. There should always be a proactive angle to your job search. Proactive in the sense of you taking additional steps and performing certain actions to help increase your chances of getting visible and getting found in the marketplace, right? So what I'm talking about today is simply a passive active aspect of LinkedIn, but that does not mean I want you to focus and depend solely on passive aspects for your LinkedIn. All right, but that being said, having a good LinkedIn profile is going to get you those easy wins, right? That low-hanging fruit when recruiters are searching for you, when hiring managers are searching for you, and all that stuff. You want to still take advantage of those opportunities as well, right? So you want to take advantage of the passive side of things and the active, proactive side of things as well. So first and foremost, how do recruiters search, right? So that's what I want to set the basis for that, so you understand why this is so important. The sole way as to which recruiters, for the most part, in the majority of cases, how they find people on LinkedIn, folks, is based on keyword searches, right? Keyword searches. Now, I know some of you are already wondering, well, Dean, okay, but what do you mean by keyword searches? What is that? And how exactly are they finding me using these, magical keyword searches? Well, first of all, it's not magical, folks, right? The keyword searches, when a recruiter is searching for you, and again, for those of you tuning in for the first time, I'm speaking about my experience, working in recruitment. Like, this is not random advice I'm sharing here. I'm giving you the perspective of someone who has worked in recruitment. The keyword search is basically revolves around position titles as well as skills, right? And as an example, let's say I have a client, okay? Let's say I have a client, or I'm aware of a hiring team. They're looking for a Java developer. And let's say that's the only, kind of thing that I'm working with, right? Java developer. Then that's what my keyword search is going to focus on. I'm going to actually literally be entering Java developer as part of my keyword search. And that's how I'm going to be searching for people. Now, it's not always that simple. There might be some other avenues, some other aspects in terms of what the hiring team is looking for, right? So they might say, hey, Dean, we need you to find us a Java developer, someone who's worked in the retail industry and specifically coded worked in or in some respect worked with or coded ERP applications or ERP software or something of that sort. Now the search becomes more specific, right? So now my search is going to revolve around Java developer. It's going to revolve around retail, including retail industry related keywords into my search, as well as ERP systems, right? Enterprise resource planning systems, ERP systems, whatever. Pretty much anything related to those kind of systems or software. So this is why the keyword aspect is so important to understand, is because this is how recruiters are finding you and searching for you, right? So this is the foundation I want to kind of start things off with. Because if your profile, folks, is not keyword rich, then it's going to be so difficult for recruiters to, first of all, find you. Second of all, for your profile to even get their attention. And third of all, for them to get some high level information about who you are and what you bring to the table. I'm going to talk about this in a bit more detail shortly. But it all starts with the keywords, all right? The degree to which your LinkedIn profile is even found, that it's even appealing, is dependent on how keyword rich and how detailed your profile is. And again, I'm going to talk about this in a bit more detail. We got a few more shout outs here. We got Sidi all the way from Brampton. We got B-Town in the house. Good to have you here, Sidi. We got Nadeem in the house all the way from Bangalore. Hey, good to have you here, Nadeem, all the way from Bangalore. Great to have you here, my friend. We got Madhushri says, I'm a technical recruiter with 5 years of experience in India. I'm applying for so many jobs through LinkedIn and Indeed, but I'm only facing rejections. Can you share some tips? Okay, so Madhushri, hang in there. I'm going to get to your question at the end of the presentation. We got Tong in the house from Toronto. Good to have you here, Tong. Thanks for tuning in. And we got Radhika in the house as well. Thanks for tuning in, Radhika. So look, the key thing so far, folks, is look, if you're a keyword, if you're keywords, if you're not having those keywords, those industry related, skill set related keywords on your LinkedIn profile, you're not going to get found, period, right? Like, because that's how recruiters are searching for people on LinkedIn for the most part. Recruiters are not simply posting job. Yeah, I mean, one part of the recruiter's job is to post a job posting on LinkedIn and then go through the applications. Yeah, I mean, that aspect is there, but that's not all they're doing. For the most part, most recruiters, they're going to be taking a proactive stance, right? They're going to be actually performing these keyword searches to find you. So, and again, I don't mean to be spending so much time on this whole keyword thing, but it's so important for you folks to understand. Because that's how they're going to be finding you. That's how you're going to be getting these passive opportunities where recruiters are reaching out to you. All right. So just wanted to set the groundwork there. Now, let's start off with tip number one. And I'm going to be sharing 5 tips regarding your LinkedIn profile. All right. So that was just the foundation there. Now, tip number one is your LinkedIn headline, right? Your LinkedIn headline, for those of you who don't know, that is basically the part that's right beneath your it's right. I believe it's right underneath. Yeah, it's right underneath your picture. Sorry, I was just pulling up my own LinkedIn profile here. So the LinkedIn headline is that part that's right underneath pretty much your name and your picture, right? Now, if your LinkedIn headline is not on point, if it's not related to these keywords and these skills associated with who you are and what you bring to the table, it's not going to help you in your job search, right? Now, some of you out there, you're putting in looking for new opportunities or open to new opportunities in your LinkedIn headline, and you're putting in some variation of that, right? On the market for new opportunities or looking for new opportunities. Folks, it's not going to help you, right? Because going back to what I mentioned about recruiters, they're going to be searching based on keywords, and they are not going to be searching for those looking for new opportunities. That is not the keyword search they're conducting. They're going to be looking for maybe Java developer, project manager, data analyst, accountant, whatever it is, right? Those are the kind of keywords they're looking for. So for those of you putting in, looking for new opportunities or open to new opportunities in your headline, first and foremost, recruiters are not going to be looking for that, and that's not going to contribute to the keyword richness of your profile, right? In fact, if you put in, after this session or even right now, if you can open up a new tab, if you're watching this on a browser. Just do a quick search for whatever your field is, right? Project manager, software developer, whatever it is. If you look at the search results, the people that come up at the top of the list, they don't have looking for new opportunities for the most part. At least in most cases, they're not going to have looking for new opportunities as part of their headline. Because again, that does not make your LinkedIn profile keyword rich. That's the first thing, right? It does not contribute to making your profile keyword rich. Your headline should have pretty much information related to your skills, your position, your title, and your expertise. That's what it needs to have in your LinkedIn headline. And the second thing I wanted to note is, the fact that folks, you are looking for new opportunities, you're on the market for new jobs and all that stuff, it's simply irrelevant, right? And I'm sorry if that offends some of you out there, but I'm just giving you the reality, right? I'm giving you the real deal about the situation. The fact that you're looking for new opportunities, it doesn't communicate anything to the recruiter. It's irrelevant to the recruiter. It's irrelevant to the company. It's irrelevant to the hiring team for that matter. What they're looking for is skills, expertise, and again, position titles and stuff like that. That's what's going to capture their attention. As a recruiter, I have approached people that are actively on the market and not even actively on the market as well. I've gone after what's called passive candidates, right? Passive candidates means people who are not actively looking for new opportunities, but might be open to hearing about new opportunities, right? So as a recruiter, when I've searched for people on LinkedIn, I've never seen a profile that said looking for new opportunities or open to new opportunities. And it's never really excited me. I mean, yeah, I might check out the profile and see if the person has the right skills. But again, it comes down to the right skills, expertise, and knowledge. So for those of you, you're in your LinkedIn headline, you're putting looking for new opportunities or open to new opportunities. It's not. It's not gonna it might not affect you extremely negatively, but it's simply not conveying the stuff that the recruiter needs to understand from who you are. Because again, remember, they're looking for people with specific skills, knowledge, expertise. So you're better off putting something like that on your LinkedIn headline. So instead of putting looking for new opportunities or opening new opportunities, you're better off putting Java developer or JavaScript developer or project manager or data analyst or accountant or financial analyst or whatever it is, right? You're better off putting something like that. That's gonna actually capture the recruiter's attention much more, way more, folks, than you putting looking for new opportunities or opening new opportunities, right? And again, when you put in something, a key, some title like that, or skills, knowledge, expertise, if you put something like that, it's gonna again contribute to that keyword richness of your LinkedIn profile. And I'm not guaranteeing it's going to get you at the top of the search results, but it's definitely going to get you much higher up than someone who's simply putting, looking for new opportunities or opening new opportunities. So keep this in mind. Your LinkedIn headline is very important. You want to put something in that's related to your title, your position, your knowledge, your skills, your expertise. So again, maybe you could put, Java developer with 8+ years of experience in the retail industry. That'll benefit you much more, folks, than you putting in looking for new opportunities or something of that sort. Again, the fact that you're looking for new opportunities, it's irrelevant. I've never met with a hiring team, and I've spoken about this in my previous live streams. I've never met with a hiring team, folks. As a recruiter, I have never spoken to a hiring team that said, hey, Dean, we need you to find people that are looking for new opportunities. Never. I've never heard that. What I have heard is people, hiring teams telling me, hey, Dean, we need you to find someone with XYZ skills, with XYZ expertise to help us with this project we've got going on. So the conversation is always focused, and it's always revolves around skills, knowledge, expertise. And that's what you need to be communicating on your LinkedIn headline, folks. All right. So always keep this in mind. Always remember that. We got Juan in the house. So Juan is from the 6, right here in the 6. Good to have you here, Juan. Thanks for tuning in. Nick says, when targeting keywords, I found that LinkedIn gives priorities to keywords in your current work experience. Yeah, absolutely. What can I do to promote keywords that I don't use at my current role, but I'm learning those things on the side? All right. So Nick, great question. I'm going to get to your question in the Q&A part. So hang in there. Raghav says, hi, all. I'm open to connecting. Kindly forward me an invite, please. Thanks. All right. So look, now a quick tip for those of you introducing yourself, right? So Raghav, what you should have done is actually mention what you do. Like, what is your title? What is your position? What are your skills? What are your expertise? Because otherwise people are like, okay, who is this guy, right? I mean, I'm sure a lot of people would be open to connecting with you, Raghav. So when you're introducing yourself, folks, and this goes to you as well, Raghav, right? I mean, give a little more info. Like, what do you do? Who are you? What do you do? Are you a software developer? Are you a project manager? Like, I don't know at this point, right? You got to make it enticing so people feel curious about wanting to connect with you. So just some advice there, Raghav, but good to have you here. Thanks for tuning in. So now the other thing, the other tip, folks, and now, so we talked about the LinkedIn headline. Now the other tip is, and this is one of the first things I check when people say, hey, Dean, I'm applying for positions. I'm applying for job opportunities. I'm not getting any responses. The first thing I look at, one of the first things I look at is the LinkedIn profile itself. Is it an empty LinkedIn profile? Do you have an empty LinkedIn profile? That's one of the first things I check, right? And when I say empty, that is, I don't mean like literally like completely empty. Like I'm talking like lacking in detail, like lacking in information and detail that will be valuable to the recruiter, right? You got to look at hey, when you're looking at your profile, folks, you got to think, hey, would the profile, the way I've done my LinkedIn profile right now, would the information I have included in my profile, would it be valuable information to the recruiter, to the HR person, or to the hiring manager that's looking over my profile? That's the other thing. Because it's one thing if you got a great headline, the recruiter is going to click on your profile, they're going to feel curious, right? They're like, okay, great headline, it's pretty much what I'm looking for right now. They're going to hit your LinkedIn profile, they're going to go to your LinkedIn profile. But if it's empty, if it's lacking detail, that's not a good thing either, right? You can't depend solely on having a good headline, folks. You got to have a detailed LinkedIn profile as well. We got a comment here from Adam. Adam says, I'm not able to connect. Yeah, so I'm not sure what you mean by that, Adam. Adam, you're saying I couldn't connect. I'm not sure what you're talking about, so maybe clarify in the comments. We got Elham in the house. Always good to have you here, Elham. Thanks so much for tuning in. So the profile itself has to be detailed, folks, all right? Now, I recently had someone reach out to me actually on LinkedIn, right? And it was a new graduate. They reached out to me. They're like, hey, Dean, I'm applying for jobs. I'm not getting any responses. Do you have any ideas about what's happening? So the first thing I asked them is, okay, where are you applying for the majority of your job opportunities? And they said, well, for the majority of the time, in most cases, primarily LinkedIn. I'm mostly applying on LinkedIn. Good. Now, the next thing I did is I checked out this person's LinkedIn profile. And guess what I found, folks? Surprise, surprise. Completely empty profile. No information about who they are. in terms of what skills they bring to the table, what courses they did at school, what projects, academic projects they did at school, given that this person was a new graduate. Nothing, zero, zilch, right? So as a recruiter, as an HR person, as a hiring manager, why would I feel compelled to reach out to this individual, right? And that's what I told him, right? So I responded to this new graduate and I said, hey, your LinkedIn profile is empty, and given the fact that your majority of the times you're applying for jobs on LinkedIn, the first thing that most people, most employers, most recruiters are going to do is they're going to check out your LinkedIn profile. And guess what, my friend? Your LinkedIn profile is empty. And if it's empty, how can you expect people to want to correspond with you and see you as a viable candidate, right? So make sure you don't have an empty profile, folks. Make sure you don't have an empty profile, because if your profile is empty, that's not going to give information, enticing information that makes the recruiter, the HR person, or the organization, or even the hiring team want to actually message you and say, hey, let's set up a further conversation, right? So if you got an empty profile, if your profile only lists your name, your position title for your recent title, the company name and the dates, and it doesn't list anything for each position, like it doesn't describe what you did, what you accomplished, and all that stuff for each position, then guess what? First of all, it's going to be lacking. Your profile is going to be lacking in compelling information for the recruiter. And secondly, it's going to be weak in keywords, right? Because guess what? The more details you put in, folks, for all of your positions and everything that you're putting in, for each of those positions, the more information, the more details you're putting in, the more keyword rich your profile becomes, right? The more it contributes to making it a more keyword rich profile. So when you're putting in that time and effort into putting more details into each and every position on your profile, if you're a new graduate, listing out your academic courses, your projects, and all that stuff, the more you do that, first of all, and it kills two birds with one stone. The first bird is it makes it keyword rich, right? It makes it more keyword rich, and it increases your chances of getting found in the search results when recruiters are doing those keyword searches. And second thing is, it provides key information, right? Compelling, insightful, enticing information, so that when someone visits your profile, they can actually see, okay, yeah, and they're reading through your profile, they're reading what you did at each position. It's making it easier for them to decide, yes, I definitely want to reach out to this person and have a further conversation, right? And a lot of you have empty profiles. And what's the point, folks? Like, what's the point of being on LinkedIn if you're going to have an empty profile? Like, this is why so many of you are struggling in regards to getting attention on LinkedIn. Because even if I click on your profile, I go to your profile, it says nothing, right? It says nothing. A lot of you have LinkedIn profiles that look like downtown Toronto during the lockdown. Empty. There's nothing, no information, no action, no energy, nothing within the profile. It's not going to help you, folks. So you might as well like deactivate your LinkedIn profile. Like, it doesn't make any sense, right? So put in the time, put in the effort, and put in the work into developing and building out your LinkedIn profile. Now, it doesn't have to be anything complex or fancy. You can literally copy and paste what you got on your resume or what you got on your CV or resume, and pretty much copy and paste that onto your LinkedIn profile. It's as simple as that. So no one has any excuses. You have zero excuses, folks, right now as to why you have an empty LinkedIn profile, right? Animesh says, can we watch this session later too? Yeah, so folks, the replay will be available for this pretty much at the same link. You can watch it later. And Animesh, I did see your question. I'm going to get to your question later on, all right? Peter, I see your question as well. I'm going to get to your question shortly as well, my friend, all right? So hang in there. But look, folks, this is very important, okay? If you have an empty LinkedIn profile, you're better off not being on LinkedIn at all, because it just doesn't make any sense, right? So put in the time, put in the effort. You can literally just copy and paste what's on your resume onto your LinkedIn profile. It's going to make your LinkedIn profile more keyword rich, and it's going to make it more enticing and compelling when someone actually visits your profile, so they get the information they need to decide on, yeah, I definitely want to speak to this person. Or they might decide, hey, maybe this is not the right mutual fit, whatever the case is, right? But you want to take advantage of these passive opportunities where you're not putting any efforts. The only effort you put in is you created a great profile, you got a great LinkedIn profile, you put in the details for each of your positions and all that stuff. It's sitting there and it's going to attract passive opportunities, right? The opportunities are going to come your way. So take advantage of that, folks. No empty profiles, right? And again, I wanted to stress, the more details you include in your LinkedIn profile, you got to make sure that, but this will contribute to making your LinkedIn profile more keyword rich. Keyword. Remember, folks, when you think of recruiters, you need to think, hey, Dean told me recruiters are keyword driven. All right. So every time you folks are looking at your LinkedIn profile, you gotta take an honest, take a step back and take an honest look. Is my LinkedIn profile keyword rich? Right? Do I have keywords describe, when I'm describing each of my positions, do I have keywords associated with my profession, with my skills, with my expertise reflected on my LinkedIn profile? And secondly, is there detailed information, compelling information, so that when someone visits my profile, it entices them to want to get in touch with me for these types of opportunities that I'm looking for? That's what you gotta really take a look at that, folks, and take an honest look. Don't sugarcoat. Don't put on your rose-colored glasses and try to tell yourself, oh yeah, everything's fine. No, take an honest, I'd say even a third-person point of view. If you're able to, remove yourself from your body, figuratively speaking, and take a look at it from a third-person perspective, do that, because it's very important for you to do that. All right. So, and no empty profiles, no excuses, folks. All right. It's as simple as copying and pasting everything on your resume onto your LinkedIn profile. Now, tip number 3 is you got to list out those skills. All right. So skills, again, and this might answer some of the questions some of you have in the comments regarding what keywords recruiters are using. Well, for the most part, folks, keywords recruiters are using skills as part of their keyword searches, right? So they might be looking for, again, if you're a Java developer, you better have the word Java on your LinkedIn profile, right? If you're a JavaScript developer, right, you better have the word JavaScript on your LinkedIn profile, right? So you got to account for this. Now, how you can list those skills, there's 2 ways I can recommend, right? So 2 things I want to recommend. So number 1 is there's actually a section on your LinkedIn profile. I think it's right at the bottom. And I think it's called, hold on, let me just go to my own LinkedIn profile and take a look at what the name of that section is. I think it's called skills. But you want to, let me see here. What is that section called? Skills, and I think it's called skills and endorsements, right? So that section, you want to take the time, and there's actually an option to add new skill, right? You'll see an option that says add new skills. Anything associated with your profession, your skill, your field, your industry, your expertise, folks, you want to take the time to add those onto your LinkedIn profile. Add those skills, right? And then the additional benefit of course, is that, people who know you, they're going to get these notifications on endorsing you for these skills, which is always great. How much weight that holds, I mean, that's a separate topic. I have my own opinion about that, but in any case, you want to add your skills using that section on your LinkedIn profile, right? So add that. Now, the second thing is, I still don't want you depending on just that section on your LinkedIn profile. Throughout your profile, you need to be listing associated skills in regards to yourself as a whole, as well as for each specific position. Right now, in the about section, just like on most of you have on your resume, how on your resume, on your CV, most of you have listed out your skills, technologies, frameworks, and you've listed everything out. You should copy and paste that section right, into your about section on your LinkedIn profile. Now, that does not mean you should only have that on your LinkedIn profile about section. You should have your introduction, right? Okay, my name is so and so. I have 8+ years of experience, and you write a paragraph about yourself. Beneath that, you should list again those keywords, right? Those skills associated with your field, whatever your field is. Those of you in tech, it might be technical environments, software, hardware, networking technology, whatever software, programming languages, all that stuff. You got to list those, put that right underneath that paragraph description you provide of yourself, right? Now, the other thing is, for each of your positions, each of the positions you list out in your LinkedIn profile, you need to list out any skills and tools and all that stuff associated for each position, because you want to make it specific to that particular position, because you might not be using all the skills and all your knowledge, all your expertise for each and every position, right? It might be a very specialized part of your knowledge and your skills and your expertise. So for each position, after you list out and describe the position, and I did this, I accomplished this, blah, 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 all that stuff, at the bottom, I would suggest you actually list out, again, those keywords, right? Those skills. So you might put, technical environment, Java, JavaScript, what else? I don't know, database stuff, whatever skills and tools and all that, anything associated with the position and associated with your skills in relation to that specific position. So I would advise you to add those at the bottom of the description for each position. Again, this contributes to making your LinkedIn profile more keyword rich, right? So again, this is where you got to do some research. This is where you got to take a real good look at what all skills you have, skills, knowledge, expertise, and all that stuff. And you got to make sure you're listing those for each position as well. Yeah, I know it's tedious, folks, but hey, Nothing's going to come easy, right? You can't expect these passive opportunities to come your way easily. Like, you got to put in the work onto your LinkedIn profile. So it's almost there it's almost like hiring your own, kind of salesperson, if you think about it, right? It's like almost like hiring a salesperson that's there selling you for you on your behalf passively, where you don't have to do anything. So look at it that way, all right? So put in the time and effort of that. And again, list out those skills. It's very important to list out those skills. Under the about section, your overall skills, right? Underneath that paragraph where you talk about yourself, list the skills, keyword by keyword. And then for each position, you describe the position, you describe the accomplishments, the achievements, and all that stuff. And beneath it, you add a little subsection, you write a little, subsection, and list out those skills, the keywords associated with those skills a bit more as well. And again, this contributes to making your profile more keyword rich, folks, all right? So bringing me to tip number 4. Now, another thing is, when a recruiter is visiting your profile, you want to make sure, folks, that they are 100% focused on your profile. They're not distracted by anyone else's profiles. And now this is something you folks might have to do after this session is ended. You would have to go to your LinkedIn settings to do this. But you want to disable. You might. And I want to stress something else, right? This is optional. This is optional. Maybe some of you might want this feature. Maybe some of you might not really need this feature. But there's a feature in LinkedIn. If you go to your settings where it lists, where it says, I think it's something like, list similar profiles or something like that, or show similar profiles. Now, what this option enables you to do is, when you visit someone's profile, you'll see on the right side. If you have this option enabled, you'll see on the right side that it shows, people with profiles similar to this, and it's going to list out people with similar profiles. If you have this activated, you will see that, right? Now, the downside to this is, yes, when you're visiting other people's profiles, you will see people similar to that person, and that might benefit you in some way. But the downside is, when other people visit your profile, they're going to see the same thing. And guess what? This can distract other people, right? So if, let's say I'm a recruiter, you have this option enabled. Let's say I visit your LinkedIn profile. I'm going through your profile. But guess what I'm also seeing? I'm also seeing other maybe competing people, right? People in the same profession, same field as you, listed on the right side of your profile, right? And then it's saying, hey, Dean, these are some other profiles similar to the person you're looking at right now. And guess what? As a recruiter, I might get distracted by that. I might end up visiting other people's profiles, right? And that's going to take me away from your profile and visiting some other people who might have had a more compelling or enticing LinkedIn headline. So to change this, if you don't want this to happen, folks, right? And again, this is optional. This is just so that, when the recruiter is visiting your profile, I want them focused 100% on your profile, folks. All right. So if you want to disable that, I think it's in the settings, and my apologies, folks. I can't remember exactly which section, but maybe do a quick Google search or something, and you should be able to find this. It's called other similar profiles or something like that. But just go through your LinkedIn settings, you'll see it, and you can actually disable that. So that way, when someone's visiting your profile, they're not going to get a whole bunch of similar profiles options presented to them on the right side of your profile. It's just going to be your profile, and they're going to have to go through they're going to be 100% focused on your profile. So that again, this is an optional. But if you feel like that might be something of a problem for you, you got to make sure that that's listed in that setting is disabled, so that again, whoever is visiting your profile, they're 100% focused on reading through your profile. They're not distracted by other similar profiles being presented to them by LinkedIn. So if you want to do that, go to your LinkedIn settings. And again, my apologies for that, folks. I can't remember exactly where it is in the settings, but you might have to do a Google search on that, or go through your settings and see how you can disable that. But that's something you want to keep your mind on. All right. Now, other thing is tip number 5, testimonials. You got to have testimonials on your LinkedIn profile. Again, this will help the recruiter decide on, hey, this sounds like, based on the feedback and the testimonials from other people, sounds like this is a top-notch candidate. Like, this is someone I definitely want to reach out to and connect with, right? So you gotta at your end, folks, you gotta make sure you're getting testimonials from previous managers, supervisors, and people like that. Basically, you want to make sure you're getting testimonials, folks, from people who you have reported to. Right, that's where the most, I would say, all of your testimonials should be from previous managers, supervisors, people who have managed you, right? Now, the reason why I say it should be these people is, first of all, those testimonials hold much more weight. Those testimonials hold much more weight because someone who's a manager or someone who's managed you and who has actually supervised you to some extent, they're more likely to give their testimonials are more likely to hold more weight in the eyes of the recruiter or the HR manager or the organization that's researching you and looking at your profile right now. Now, there's now no signs to that. I mean, yeah, maybe it's the case where you and them were good friends and they're just saying nice things about you. Yeah, maybe that's the case. I mean, there's no scientific proof regarding the weight of these recommendations and testimonials, but the fact is, the recruiter is going to put weight on it, right? And you want to take advantage of that. So make sure you reach out to. If you haven't done so already, folks, you got to reach out to your previous managers, supervisors, people who you have reported to directly or maybe indirectly. Maybe they were a level or two up. And you want to get testimonials from them and put them on your LinkedIn profile. Now, you should, of course, return the favor, maybe, right? Because you don't want to come across as someone that's just asking for things and not giving anything back. So if you're going to do that, make sure you reciprocate. Now, the other thing I wanted to bring to your attention is, some of you folks are getting these testimonials from your peers, right? People who worked in the same position as you, which is fine. Now, the point at which that might become a problem is kind of related to the previous point, right? Where I might be reading over the testimonials and you got some testimonials from some great peers, right? So people in the same position as you, same organizational level as you. And I might get distracted by that. I might read over I might go to the testimonial. I might see, let's say you're a project manager. You got a testimonial from another fellow project manager, and I see that testimonial, and I might get distracted by that person's profile. I might say, hey, maybe I should check out that person's profile and see if they might be interested in the opportunity as well. That's what I'm going to do as a recruiter, right? Because keep in mind, my client wants me to present them with, top-notch candidates, right? And at the point at which I'm simply reviewing someone's LinkedIn profile, I'm taking as much as possible, I'm taking a very impartial view on their profile, right? Because I haven't spoken to you yet at this point. I haven't chatted with you. And I'm still looking for people to present to my client, right? So if you got a whole bunch of testimonials, folks, on your profile from peers, like people who are not managers, not supervisors, people who have not managed you and stuff like that, hey, I might get distracted. I might see these as potential other candidates that I can reach out to, and I might click on the profile, and guess what? I'm leaving your LinkedIn profile, and I'm trying to pursue this other person that happened to leave a testimonial on your profile. So look, I'm not saying don't get testimonials from your peers. I'm just telling you that these are some of the things that might happen, right? So you got to put the focus on majority of your testimonials on your LinkedIn profile should be from your managers, people who have managed you, right? Maybe not directly, maybe indirectly, maybe it was your boss's boss or your boss's boss or something like that. That's fine. But you want to put the focus of the testimonials on people with those kind of, who in that regard, in that respect, all right? So that's tip number 5. So those are my tips, folks, all right? So I'm going to just refresh you on those tips, and then I'm going to get into, the questions that I see in the comments. So feel free to put any questions you have in the comments. I'm going to get to your questions shortly. So tip number 1 was, your LinkedIn headline. You got to make sure you're better off, folks, putting in your position, your title, your knowledge, your expertise, your skills, something of that sort in your LinkedIn profile. That will benefit you more and get the attention of recruiters way more than you putting in, hey, looking for new opportunities, on the market for new opportunities, open to work, and all that kind of stuff. It'll do you much better. It'll make your profile more enticing. It'll make it more keyword rich if you put in something related to your skills, your knowledge, your expertise, your position, your title, and stuff like that, all right? Tip number 2 was empty profiles. Empty profiles are a no-no. Put the work and effort into your profile, folks. So you got to make sure you're putting in the work and making sure your profile is detailed and it has all those details and stuff like that. Tip number 3 was take the time to especially emphasize skills, right, on your LinkedIn profile. Emphasize those skills related to your profession, your expertise, your field, your industry, and all that stuff. You got to make sure you're literally listing out those skills as keywords on your LinkedIn profile. Tip number 4 was, and this is optional, you might want to disable the show other profiles similar to this option in your LinkedIn settings. You don't want people visiting your profile. You don't want recruiters visiting your profile to get distracted by other, good candidates that might be similar to you, that show up on that on the side of their screen. So you might want to disable that option, all right? And tip number 5 is testimonials. You want to get the majority of the testimonials from managers, supervisors, people who have supervised you, people you have reported to. You should put the bulk of your testimonials in regards to those kind of individuals, all right? So, and make sure you put those on your on your testimonials. All right. So hope that helps, folks. And I'm going to get to the question shortly. Now, just a heads up for those of you who are you're dealing with recruiters and stuff like that. If you haven't done so already, I do have a free sample script on my website on how to run recruiters through your resume, because eventually you're going to get into conversations with recruiters. So if you haven't done so already, feel free to download the free sample script from my website. It's dkglobaltalent.com. Again, dkglobaltalent.com. Make sure you download that free sample script if you haven't done so already. And also, folks, make sure you hit like and make sure you share this session if you found it helpful. Before I get into your questions, and feel free to put your questions in the comments. I'm going to get to that shortly. But yeah, give me a like and give me a share, folks, if you found this session insightful and helpful. Always appreciate that. And hey, for those of you who haven't done so already, I want you to sign up for my free masterclass where I talk about why it's so important to take a proactive stance, a proactive strategy on your job search. And I talk about my 3-step process, the 3-step process you need to be utilizing in your job search. Very important for you folks to take a proactive stance, especially right now when the marketplace is very competitive and there's high levels of available talent, right? The days of applying to the position and just waiting for a response, folks, it's not going to be helpful right now. That's why so many of you are experiencing not getting responses from hiring teams. All right. So it's a free masterclass. Check that out. It's at dkglobaltalent.com/masterclass. I'll drop the link in the comments as well shortly, but make sure you check it out. And hey, for those of you who are aware of my new program, Applying to Jobs Online 101, the 3-step process to getting responses, giving you a heads up, folks, as of Monday, March 15th, I will be increasing the prices. All right. So for those of you who are dilly-dallying, you're kind of delaying, you're procrastinating, you want to sign up, but you haven't already, I will be increasing the price as of March 15th. So I'm giving you fair warning. It is so right now it's at $87.77 Canadian. It's a great deal. It's a super deal. And for more details on the program and all that stuff and what's included, feel free to check out my website, dkglobaltalent.com/get interviews, if you want to take advantage of the special offer. And again, prices are going up soon, folks. All right. So if you're interested, make sure you sign up, and hope to see you on the course, and happy to see you there. All right. So I'll drop the links for that shortly. But let me know in the comments, folks, any questions you have, and I'm gonna put in those links for my free masterclass as well. All right. So just give me a couple of seconds, and I will get to the question shortly. So keep the questions coming in the comments, folks, or any feedback you have, and I will get to the question shortly. All right. I should probably get someone to assist me with the putting these messages up and stuff, I guess. I know some people have people that actually do that. So let me just so it looks like that's done, and I just got to put one more link, and I'm going to get to your questions. Bear with me, folks. And there we go. All right. So let's get to the questions now. All right. So let's see the questions here. So I think Madhushri had a question. So Madhushri, thanks for tuning in. So Madhushri said, I'm a technical recruiter with 5 years of experience in India. I'm applying for so many jobs through LinkedIn and Indeed, but I'm facing only rejections. Can you share some tips to find jobs? Yeah. So a couple of things come to mind, Madhushri, right? First of all, what I'm thinking is, if you're mostly applying through LinkedIn and Indeed, and you're not getting any responses, you got to take a look at your resume, right? Is your resume like detailed? Does it have the right keywords? Is it searchable? Is it findable, right? That's the first thing. Second thing is, and again, there could be so many different reasons, Madhushri. Second thing would be the types of positions you're applying for. Are you applying for recruiting positions that are at your level of experience? A mistake I see so many people make is they apply for positions that are years apart from their level of experience. So, for example, I've seen senior level people apply for positions that are like junior or intermediate. And if you're doing that, hey, the recruiter or the person looking over the resumes, they're going to see a big disconnect. They're going to be like, yeah, this person is way beyond what we're looking for an ideal candidate. And then on the flip side, you got people with, for example, junior level people like with 2-3 years of experience, or new graduates applying for senior level positions and intermediate level positions plus, right? So that there's going to be a disconnect there as well. So my advice to you, Madhushri, and again, there could be so many different reasons why this is happening. check on your resume, make sure it's detailed, it has the right keywords and all that stuff. Second thing is make sure you're applying for positions that match your level of experience. So hope that helps, Madhushri. Great question there. And we got Nick here. So Nick says, when targeting keywords, I found that LinkedIn gives priorities to keywords in your current work experience. What can I do to promote keywords that I don't use at my current role, but I've been learning those things on the side? All right, so Nick, what I can suggest, and I kind of already mentioned this, on your LinkedIn profile, there's a section, I think it's at the bottom. What was it called again? I think it's called Skills and Endorsements. I think it's that section of your LinkedIn profile where you can actually manually enter, any additional skills you like as well, Nick, right? So make use of that probably. So again, I think it's like at the bottom portion of your LinkedIn profile, I believe, and I think it's called Skills and Endorsements, and you can actually add skills. So hit add skills, and then just add whatever skills and whatever keywords you want to use that you don't use at your current role, but you've been learning on the side. So you make sure you do that. Now, Nick, if this is a certification or some kind of a course you're currently taking, you can also add that course or that certification. I believe it's in the certification section or the education section on your LinkedIn profile, but you can actually add that course or add that certification or add that project or whatever the situation is with you, and you can actually actually write out the details of what you're learning, and that in itself will also help make your profile keyword rich. You can add those promotional keywords in relation to that skill that you're doing or whatever this side project is. So hope that helps, Nick. Great question there. Let's see what other questions we got. So Animesh says, what keywords should we use in profile resume for HR, talent acquisition, recruiter, etc. jobs? So Animesh, my advice to you here is something very simple. Like, look at the job descriptions for typical HR and talent acquisition and recruitment positions. That's something very simple. All of you can do, regardless of your. By the way, this is not just for Animesh, right? For whatever your field is, folks, do a search. Look at the job descriptions for these fields. Actually have a sheet of paper next to you and write down what you're seeing. Notice the patterns, like notice what keywords are being mentioned in these job descriptions. Write them down, right? Write out these keywords and stuff like that. And then you got to make sure you're emphasizing these or highlighting these on your resume and on your LinkedIn profile. That's something very simple you can do, right? So hope that helps, Animesh. Yeah, great question there. Peter says, hi, Dean, I'm a certified PMP and a certified process and change management specialist. Is it advisable to just stick to one job title? All right, so Peter, this is a great question. Now, so there's kind of two perspectives on this, Peter, right? And now on the one side, I'm like, yeah, I mean, on your LinkedIn profile, you do not want to come across as scattered. Now, if you're Peter, if you're using, going to present yourself as a project manager and a process and change management specialist, I don't think that's too much of a disconnect. Like, I would not view you as someone who's scattered. What you don't want to do is present yourself as a project manager / process and change management specialist / software developer / data analyst / business analyst / a whole bunch of stuff. Like, you don't want to do that, Peter, right? So if it's just like, one or two things, that's completely fine, because there are positions out there that are blended, right? And I have in the past recruited on positions where the client was looking for project managers who also had knowledge with process and change management as well, because part of project management is a subset of project management. What might be included in any project is exactly this, right? Change management, process management, and stuff like that. So it's not too much of a disconnect, Peter. So I don't think it should be a problem for you. But on the flip side, I would advise you, don't spread yourself too thin. Like, you do not want to go beyond maybe one or two titles or one or two targets for the positions you're aiming for, right? And this is something I talk about in my course. For those of you who sign up for my course, for my clients who are tuning in from the Facebook group, this is something I stress in the course as well, right? When you're applying for positions, you do not want to spread yourself too thin, because then the recruiter lacks confidence in how certain you are about what you want to do and what you want to do moving forward. So hope that helps, Peter. It's a very important question. I'm glad you asked this question. I hope that helps. For the rest of you tuning in, hey, folks, if you're mentioning like 5-6 different types of titles and positions on your LinkedIn profile, my perspective as a recruiter is I'm going to be thinking, hey, this person seems a little bit scattered, like they're not sure about what they want. And what I'm thinking as a recruiter is, hey, okay, let's say I present this person to my client for a software developer position, and it looks like they're interested in multiple different types of opportunities. The last thing I want is for them to come back to me later on in the process and say, hey, Dean, you know what? I'm actually gonna, pursue data analyst opportunities or something completely different, right? That's what the recruiter is going to be concerned about. That's what they're going to be thinking about. So look, folks, you got to pick a direction and you got to stick to it. All right, you don't want to spread yourself too thin. So a great question there, Peter. Thanks so much for asking that. Tong says, hi everyone. I'm Tong, a full stack developer based in Toronto. My stack includes Node.js, React, Next.js, MongoDB, Django. I'm looking to connect with people in my industry. Thank you. Hey, Tong. So, folks, this is an example of a great introduction, right? So this is how you should be introducing yourself in the comments, right? So because I'm sure anyone interested in these JavaScript frameworks, or someone who's a developer, or maybe someone who's looking for a developer, might very well be compelled to connect with Tong right here. So great job on that, Tong. Example of a fantastic introduction here. So hope you connect with some great people here. So we got Juan. Juan says, if I'm a new graduate, is a testimonial from a professor okay? Yeah, Juan. So this is a great question, right? So look, folks, if you're a new student, if you're a new graduate, you're a student, maybe you're currently still in the midst of your studies. Yeah, exactly, Juan. Definitely do that. You want to get testimonials from your professors. You want to get testimonials from your TAs, right? The teaching assistants. If you've done internships, you definitely want to get testimonials from whoever was managing you and stuff like that. If you did co-ops, same thing. You want to definitely get testimonials from whoever it is, right? You as a student, those testimonials still add weight, right? Just because you don't have professional experience doesn't mean you're hopeless and there's nothing, no hope for you. No. So this is great point here by Juan. You want to get testimonials from your professors and make sure you add that to your LinkedIn profile. All right. So great point there, Juan, and I hope that helps. So Raghav says, hi again, Dean. Just like a cover letter needs to be unique and not just a copy of your resume with repetitive information, how do you think that a LinkedIn profile can be made unique and not just a copy paste of your resume? Yeah, so here's the thing, Raghav, right? Recruiters are not looking for fancy creative stuff on your LinkedIn profile. Again, most of the time, folks, you're going to be coming across recruiters. As a recruiter, I'm not looking for fancy. I'm not looking for bells and whistles and all that stuff. All I'm looking for is, hey, does this person have the skills that my client is looking for, or does this person have the skills that the hiring team at my organization is looking for? That is what recruiters are going to be looking for. All right, so trying to be fancy dancy, I mean, there's so many different ways you can try being fancy, but the fact is, the only thing the recruiter is going to be looking for is skill set fit. That is what recruiters are going to be looking for, right? Now, hiring managers and stuff like that, yeah, maybe they might be looking for other stuff. Like you might have to speak to some hiring managers about that, right? But today's session, I'm talking about recruiters. What are recruiters looking for in LinkedIn profiles? And what recruiters are going to be looking for is skills, knowledge, expertise, and industry stuff, and stuff like that. So that is what they're going to be looking for, and that is what's going to make the recruiter want to correspond with you, reach out to you, and connect with you and stuff like that. So that is what that's my perspective. And I'm sure that is the perspective most of my fellow recruiters or people who have worked in recruitment would have as well. They're not going to be looking for personality and, oh, is this person going to be a culture fit? Yeah, maybe in some cases, maybe if they want people from specific industries and stuff like that. But even then, that's going to be part of the keyword search. And if those keywords, if those skills and all that stuff is reflected in your LinkedIn profile, that is going to entice them to want to send you a message and want to get in touch with you and take things to the next level. All right, so hope that helps, Raghav. Great question there. Radhika says, how to identify the keywords in the job description? Well, I'm not sure what you're asking here, Radhika, but literally the keywords are in the job description. So you got to read over the job description and you got to be able to identify what those keywords are, right? So, I mean, I'm not sure what exactly you're asking here, but it's if you read over a job description, it should be pretty evident, should be pretty obvious what the keywords are, right? So keywords might be, project management, stakeholder management, change management, Scrum, Agile, so you gotta pay attention to these things in the job description, right? So hope that helps, Radhika. And Satish says, I'm a journalist with 10 years of experience. I'm desperately trying to get a job. Help me. I'm from India. All right. So Satish, Satish, I'm not trying to offend you here. All right. So you did the first part of your message is good, right? You mentioned journalists with 10 years of experience. The second part is not it's ineffective. All right. Now, folks, I'm about to tell you something that might offend some of you, right? Because so many people on LinkedIn are not going to be forthright about this. All right. So many people are going to be sugarcoating this and doing the whole, fluffy duffy stuff, right? The second part, right? I'm desperately trying to get a job. Help me. I'm from India. No one cares. And I don't mean to sound insensitive, all right? I'm not being insensitive here, folks. Right? You know, I care about all of you folks. That's why I do these weekly live streams every week. But understand this, folks. Nobody cares that you're looking for a job. All right. I'm going to say this. I don't mean to sound insensitive, but I'm just giving you folks the reality of the situation, because that's what I'm here for, right? You know how Dean is. If you've been following me for a while, I'm going to give it to you the way it is. And no hiring manager is going to say this, because no hiring manager wants to come across as unprofessional or damage their company brand by saying this. But I'm saying this because I can afford to say this. All right. Nobody cares how desperate anyone is in terms of looking for a job, folks. All right. What you should have done is mention what types of stories and what type of coverage you've done as a journalist, right? Because the first part impressed me. I was like, wow, okay, journalist with 10 years of experience. That's amazing. Now, the second part, you're desperately looking for a job. Companies are not looking for job seekers, folks. I talked about this many times in my previous content and my previous streams. Organizations and companies are not looking for job seekers. They're not looking for people who are looking for jobs. They do not care about the fact that you are looking for jobs. What they do care about is what skills, knowledge, experience, expertise you bring to the table that can help them with whatever business outcomes they're looking to achieve. All right. Pay very good attention to this, folks. All right. I'm telling you what nobody's willing to tell you, because nobody wants to hurt people's feelings. But I'm willing to do that because I care about all of you folks doing well in your job search and getting yourself practical, pragmatic results, because it's getting ridiculous. The fluffy duffy stuff I'm seeing on LinkedIn from people, trying to make things all ponies and ice cream and icicles and stuff like that. No organization, no business is concerned about the fact that you're looking for a job, folks. All right. I'm not trying to be harsh. This is the reality. What you want to focus on, folks, is your knowledge, your expertise, your experiences, your industry experiences, everything you bring to the table. That is what the organization is interested in, as long as it helps them achieve whatever business outcome they're looking to achieve. That is what you want to focus on. So, Satish, my advice to you is you got the first part right. So if I was you, Satish, I would say, hey, Dean, I'm a journalist with 10 years of experience. I've specialized in covering, scams in the financial industry. My top story was the story I did on, blah, 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 XYZ, where I had to go in as an investigative journalist. I had to go in undercover, whatever it is, to uncover these things and expose this huge scam that was affecting billions of dollars worth of scams or something like that. I don't know anything about the journalism industry, folks. I'm just making this up here. But Satish, that is going to be more effective than you saying I'm desperate for a job. Because when you say I'm desperate for a job, what does that tell people that are seeing that, right? Then they're seeing, okay, why is this person not getting a job? That's what the recruiter is thinking. That's what the organization is thinking. That's what the hiring manager is thinking, right? So Satish, I'm not making fun of you. I'm not trying to discourage you or anything. I'm just giving you feedback that's going to help you in your job search, right? So good job on the first part of that comment, Satish. I need you to work on the second part, all right? So folks, if you're a job seeker, the fact that you're looking for a job, I want you to assume that is irrelevant to anyone out there. I want you to assume that, all right? So all those posts you're seeing on LinkedIn, people who want more views on their posts, they're getting those 10,000 likes because they wrote about how we need to be more empathetic. And yeah, job seekers are going through this and yeah, this and that. Yeah, it's all true. But here's the reality, folks. Businesses, companies, organizations, they're not looking for the fact that you're looking for a job. They're looking for how you can help them achieve business outcomes. That's the reality of the situation, whether it's a nonprofit or a for-profit. All right. And everyone needs to get that straight, because that's the reality, folks. That's the reality we are facing. And so many of you are being scammed by these feel-good posts that are going around on LinkedIn. And it's not helping anyone either. All right. So from now on, folks, you need to make the assumption, hey, yes, my situation is desperate. I desperately need a job. I desperately need this. I need to pay my bills. I need to do this. I need to do that. I totally understand that. But you want to outwardly, you want to put the focus on what you bring to the table that you can offer the organization in order for the organization to achieve business outcomes. That's what it comes down to, folks. All right. So hope that helps. And we got a question here from Siddhi. Siddhi says, I'm an IT analyst and have 7 years of experience in MNC. I worked as a Windows network administrator and endpoint security engineer. Yeah, so this is a great introduction. So another example of a great introduction here. So good job on that, Siddhi. So anyone interested in connecting with Siddhi, this gives me enough information to know, yeah, I definitely want to connect with Siddhi. Or if I'm a recruiter, right there, I see, okay, wow, this is exactly what I'm looking for, right? If I was recruiting on such a position, this would capture my attention. So folks, You do not want to be vague, right? So you do not want to be vague. You want to take advantage of every opportunity to promote yourself, right? All of you folks who are watching this, I know some of you are passive job seekers. You can't publicly, talk about how you're looking for jobs. I get that, but for the rest of you actively on the market, you need to be consistently promoting yourself, folks, right? Because that's what I'm doing right here. Yes, I'm helping you folks out with information and valuable tips and advice and that stuff. But at the same time, I'm promoting myself. Dean has to promote Dean, because if Dean doesn't promote Dean, Dean cannot help job seekers out there, right? And you need to be looking at things in the same standpoint, folks. If you're not promoting yourself, no one's going to take notice of you. You're not going to be visible. And when I say promoting yourself, of course, you have to do it in the right way, right? You have to promote yourself in the right way. Because if you're just reaching out to people, you're just saying, hey, my name is so-and-so. I'm a data analyst, and I can do this, I can do this. Yeah, then it might not be effective, because there's an effective way to do that as well, right? And again, for those of you interested in learning what the three-step process is in approaching your job search, make sure you sign up for my masterclass, all right? It's dkglobaltalent.com/masterclass. This is the three-step process you need to be implementing into your job search. I talk about why you need to be doing that, and I share some numbers and statistics as to why a lot of you are struggling in your job search, right? You're not getting responses from hiring teams. So make sure, folks, you sign up for my masterclass. For those of you who want to sign up, you want to skip the masterclass, you want to sign up for my program. Again, prices are going up March 15th. Right now, you can get on my program, $87.77 Canadian, dkglobaltalent.com/get interviews. I shared the link in the comments as well. All right. So folks, look, hope this session was helpful. And hey, look, I didn't mean to put anyone down. The point I'm trying to make, folks, is you need to focus on what the reality of the situation is. All right. So again, you want to focus on what you can provide to organizations, businesses, to help them produce whatever outcomes they're looking to achieve. That's what you want to focus on. That's how you got to pitch yourself. That's how you got to promote yourself. All right. So, okay, I guess we got a question from Peter. So Peter says, thanks, Dean, for your response. Permit me to ask another related question. If I decide to use one job title on my LinkedIn profile and I see another job opening with change manager or operations manager, and I have a well-grounded experience in that area, can I apply when I don't have any title or job experience captured on LinkedIn? Yeah, so Peter, again, this comes down to you might have to have a blended profile, right, where you're mentioning both your project management / change management, right? But what I'm saying is you don't want to spread yourself too thin, Peter, right? So if you got multiple titles, that's not a good thing either. You want to limit it to one or two. So if you're aiming for project management positions and change management positions, that's fine. It's fine to have that kind of a blend. But you want to focus on those two things on your LinkedIn profile, and you got to make sure it reflects both skills, knowledge, expertise on your LinkedIn profile as well. All right. So hope that helps, Peter. And hey, thanks everyone for tuning in. Hope everyone got great value out of the session. Remember, sell others on your value. Be willing to promote yourself, folks. But you got to promote yourself the right way. And if you want to know how to promote yourself the right way, especially when you're direct messaging, when you're reaching out to people directly, make sure you sign up for my program. All right. dkglobaltalent.com. Go there for more information. If you want to sign up for the free masterclass, dkglobaltalent.com/masterclass. All right. Hey, everyone, have a fantastic week, and see you all soon. All right. Take care. Bye.